For art and culture portion, again, we should try to manage it from the Tamil Nadu board books. For geography, 11th and 12th class NCERT books should suffice. For economics, I personally opted for the material of Sriram's IAS for the theory portions, and also the NCERT books to start with. For economy, for ecology and environment portion, I used to refer to Shankar IAS, that material book. Yes.
Sir, these some other parts are also there which need to be completed, like for example, international relation, internal security, external security. So how to complete these all parts? Because these are some of the questions again and again repeated, time and again repeated. So from any good material from where the student should actually study these things, international relation and the security matters of India.
See, if you might have observed, much of the questions from the portions of internal security, or for that matter, international relations, they come from from the current affairs portion. What's going on in and around our country. So much of the current affairs issues relating to international relations and internal security shall be covered in the current affairs monthlies.
Yes, so that is correct. But like, we also need to know the past relation with India, with some other country, or in the past 2 to 3 years, what has happened with India, then other issues also, so that we can get an entire picture. Just current picture does not suffice the entire condition. So, how did you?
For that matter, yeah, as far as my experience is concerned, I had read the book by David Malone. Does the Elephant Dance? A book by David Malone, which is a good book on India's foreign relations. There is a similar book by Rajiv Sikri. You can also opt for that. But those are again for leisurely reading. But just for the sake of knowledge of the past of India's foreign relations, if an aspirant is looking for a book, then it's advisable to go for any current affairs, but any material by any coaching institute. Vision IAS also comes up with such material. Waziram, there are a lot of other coaching institutes who come up with compilations on India's internal security. There is a yellow book, famously known as the Yellow Book of Waziram on internal security. Many students go for that. So we can pick and choose from a lot of from a plethora of materials which is available in the Delhi market.
Okay. So what about the internet sources? Like there are daily news compilations available on the internet. So a lot of students actually, they keep on downloading the materials. They go to one website, then they download a lot of materials. They go to another one, then also download it from them. So like more than the time they spend on the studies, they actually spend it on downloading the materials. How do you think this thing should be actually managed? How many websites should they actually refer to? And what should be the management basically here?
Yeah, actually, that's a huge trap. A lot of people, they also build a library in their house. So that actually doesn't work. We shouldn't be gathering material after material and not read. As I said, the basic thumb rule has to be one topic should be prepared from one source. If we are preparing, say, economics from Sriram IAS material, it's not required to again go for any other material for that topic. Same, for example, inflation. It's not required to read the inflation from 10 different sources.
Okay.
You read it from one source, take your own notes, and that's it. Because here, all you need to know is, all you need to learn is this, that you should have enough knowledge to be able to write 250 words on a topic.
Okay.
That's it. You need not do a PhD on anything. And as far as this craze for material is concerned, we should again select one website if at all we need to refer to daily current affairs updates. We should refer to only one current affairs monthly. We have to decide by taking into account the width as well as the depth of the material. There are coaching institutes who cover current affairs in great width, but with insufficient depth. I hope you are able to understand what I'm trying to say. They will not cover in as much detail as is required from the UPSC point of view, but they would certainly cover a lot of things as regards the width of the material. They will give you information, say, on 10 different things happening around you, but each would be superficial. Each would be superficial. None of them would give you a sufficient information which would serve you in prelims or mains. So you have to pick a material which balances both these aspects.
Okay. So, sir, can you suggest some of the websites? Like, what all websites do you usually?
As far as my personal experience is concerned, I was referring to Vision IAS material because I believe they have been able to balance this aspect well. Secondly, though I don't have a lot of experience as regards Unacademy, because initially I was referring to Roman Saini sir's videos, and after they diversified, I switched over to different preparation sources. But certainly, I have also got reviews from a lot of my friends that Unacademy is also doing great in this regard, and many people are covering current affairs on a daily basis. So, if someone is comfortable with a video source or an audiovisual source, then he or she can refer to or subscribe to one video source of Unacademy, or for that matter, any other coaching institute. But that should be one. We should not again go for another written source from Insights from any other coaching institute. No, that would not be worthwhile.
We should first.
Yes, the thumb rule is like that.
We should first.
Yes, the thumb rule is like that. Read one thing from one source.
One thing.
The whole mantra to get through the 3 stages of UPSC is to streamline your sources, minimize your sources as much as possible. More sources means more things to read. More things to read means more things to revise, more things to write, and then you will face the problem of plenty. That's what happens in the real exam. You don't need to know a lot of things. You need to just know sufficient things to be able to write 250 words. That's it.
Okay. So, sir, coming to revision, how did you manage the study time and the revision time? Because revision is very, very essential for any civil servant, because the material is voluminous and they have to cover it again and again. And some meticulous examination, they actually judge the depth of knowledge. So, how did you do the things with the first time learning and the revision thing?
I used to take up 2 subjects at a time. Say if I am reading economics for now, I read it for 2-3 days or 4-5 days. Then I switch over to a different subject. I read it for again 2-3-4-5 days. After I complete both these subjects, I switch over to 2 new subjects. After I complete those 2, I get back to the initial 2. I revise them. Then I switch over to 2 new subjects. So that's how I used to do it. And for current affairs, again, I used to prepare it continuously. 2-3 months before the examination, the prelims or the mains, I used to switch to revision. I did not revise on a weekly or a daily basis.
Daily basis is not.
That again should, no. I personally, my experience has not been of revising on a daily basis. I used to revise just before the examination, 2-3 months before the examination. I mean, I had that much of a confidence on my memory.
Okay, so basically when there is this kind of preparation where you study once, but you study it very thoroughly, and it is very, very difficult to forget, and then when you revise it, it actually comes to your. So a lot of aspirants actually have different ways of learning and different type of.
I would say the preparation strategy is not very different for prelims or mains. You essentially have to read the same things. Now, what differs is actually the revision strategy and practice. Before prelims, you should read and revise the same sources from a different perspective than you would before mains. So before prelims, you should look for factual stuff that are asked in the previous papers of prelims, and you should practice mock tests. You should practice as many questions as possible. So that's the strategy for prelims. For mains, you should look for increasing the level of your understanding on a subject. So if you're reading history for prelims, you should figure out the factual stuff which may be asked in the prelims. If you are revising the same stuff for mains, you should stay prepared to answer the kind of questions and to be able to write 250 words on a question which are asked in the mains. So essentially your revision strategy should change before the exam, but you have to read or you have to prepare the same materials for both prelims and mains. So what the first is revision.
Talking about the test series, how do you, which website or from where have you practiced the test series during your prelims and the mains examination?
For my prelims, I was using Vision IAS tests for prelims. For mains, I did not write any tests, not even at home. What I was doing was I was downloading the answer sheets of toppers, and I was taking 2-3 questions out of them. I was writing my own answers. I was comparing it with that of the topper. And this exercise also I have done not for a long period. I have written, I think, not more than 10-15 answers before mains. So that's it. I haven't subscribed to much of tests or mock test or mock interviews.
Okay. So the next question is, how did you prepare for the essay writing?
Essay, yes. As far as essay is concerned, see, while I was doing my graduation, I used to write articles for newspapers, like letters to the editor. I used to write articles for my magazine, for souvenirs. So I always ensured that I kept in touch with writing. And because I was reading the newspaper daily, so the command over the language that keeps on increasing with time. So I haven't practiced much. Just I have written 2-3 essays before sitting for the exam. Again, what matters in the real exam is the depth of your knowledge and how you present yourself. And how you present yourself, that is not something which can be greatly prepared beforehand. That's something which develops over time. With reading of newspaper, with reading of books, with writing articles, that skill earns over time. So fortunately, I had a good command over writing. I have got 138 marks in essay, 138, which I think is a decent score.
Yes, it's very great.
Few key things which I would like to emphasize is what you should and what you should not do. Before you start writing an essay, make a diagram and write and structure the essay first. Let's say if you have 1 hour and 15 minutes to write an essay, spend 15 minutes on structuring the essay and spend next 1 hour writing it. So once you structure that with a diagram, it becomes a lot more easier than it would if you don't do it. That's number one. Number two, I don't prefer to use subheadings. I don't prefer to use because I feel the coherence breaks, the flow of the essay that breaks. Number three, you must take care that there is a flow of information right from the beginning till the end. A paragraph should not end or begin abruptly. The reader, the examiner should feel that there is a degree of continuity between a paragraph and its previous paragraph. And we should abstain from using any sort of diagrams or flow charts or bar graphs, anything. No pictorial representation. An essay is meant to be written in full sentences. That's it. No subheadings, no bar graphs, no charts, no figures, no pictures, nothing at all.
Nothing at all. So it should be a simple piece of literature, basically,
nothing
which
at all.
Force a person to think and would actually delve him into your creativity, your way of writing, and all those things should be there. So, sir, what is the importance
Certainly,
of language? Yes. What is the importance of the language paper? How do we manage the language paper? The compulsory paper of the other languages.
Language paper is the most important paper because if you feel. Hello.
Yes. We are able to hear you, sir. Continue.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. The language paper, I would say, is the most important paper because if you fail in the language paper, your papers would not be evaluated. and all you need to do is to get qualifying marks in that paper. 25% of the marks and you qualify. So I don't think that's a great deal. You don't have to prepare separately for that. But yes, if you are out of touch with your Indian language, which is the compulsory paper, if you're say opting for Hindi or Odia, with which you are out of touch, then I think you should practice 2-3 previous year question papers. That should suffice.
That should suffice, because a lot of students, they come from English background and then they have to write the Odia paper, so that becomes very, very difficult for them.
Well, I was also in a similar situation, because last I had written Odia was in standard 8th back in 2008.
Yes.
So I was doing it after more than 10 years. So essentially there was also a challenge for me to do it after 10-12 years. But after writing 2-3 previous year question papers, you gain a good degree of proficiency over it. No problem.
So can I ask you a very basic question, like a student who is just starting the preparation, so how does he choose his optional? Basically, this is a very basic question, but it actually creates a lot of confusion. You know, various students, they spend years after years just because they have chosen the wrong optional and they cannot score well in it. So how do people choose their optional basically?
My approach has been very much pragmatic as regards the selection of optional. First, you should take a look at the previous year questions, how comfortable you are with that, and the syllabus. If you have an access to a coaching, if you want to take coaching, it's fine. You may not look at the length of the syllabus, but if you are preparing on your own, as I was preparing, the length of syllabus does matter. So you should choose an optional which has got a shorter syllabus as compared to others, number one, in which UPSC is giving good marks in the recent years. At least the kind of marks that UPSC is giving to students should not reflect that it's discouraging. I mean, of late, if you would see, there are optionals like public administration in which you would feel that UPSC is discouraging students to take it. Because people are following herd mentality and everyone is taking public administration. Everyone is taking geography. So after, maybe 2-3 years down the line, or 4-5 years down the line, UPSC would again discourage people to take geography. So you should see that UPSC is not discouraging, at least at the moment, to take that option. Yes. So good marks are being allotted on average. Then interest in that subject, availability of materials in that subject, and how easy is it for you to understand and represent your thoughts in that area. These are, I think, the factors which should broadly determine what optional you should take.
So basically, we should see the syllabus of the optional. Then it should be not so lengthy and it should be mark fetching. Currently, we should see in the previous years how the people have scored in that particular option, and then availability of material is the most important criteria, that we should get the material for sure, and then our own interest over that. So sir, this was all my questions from that I had to ask. Sir, if you want to give any invaluable piece of advice to our students, then you can say so.
My advice would be to believe in your own ability, to just keep belief in yourself and to persevere till you get success. I think failures are the stepping stones to success. I myself could not get through this attempt just for a want of 22 marks. So I can just say that this is a bad luck for me. But yes, here the message from my story to the rest of the students should be that you should not stop. You should not stop with your first failure. You should not also stop with your first success. Because if you stop at your first success, then there are many mouths which are waiting to say that your first success was just a luck. So you should just keep on your efforts and you'll achieve your dreams.
Okay, sir. So we'll just wind up this session. Thank you so much, sir, to come to our studio. Your information was invaluable, and I am pretty sure they will guide lots of aspirants on our platform. So thank you, sir, so much for coming here. Okay.
Thank you so much.
एडी आपण देखि पाले जणे बहुत ही अमेजिंग पर्सनालिटी, अ वेरी सक्सेसफुल पर्सन एंड अ ग्रेट एग्जीक्यूटिव. सो आपन को ये तो बहुत इंस्पिरेशन मिलती बा. आई होप सो. नेक्स्ट टॉपर्स टॉक रे फिर हमें आओ जोन को डाकी बा हम सेशन रे, एंड वी विल सी हिज सक्सेस जर्नी. सो थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी फॉर वाचिंग दिस सेशन. एंड if you want to make your preparation more guided, you can take the Unacademy Plus subscription. Setre, do use my referral code YAGYALive so that you can get additional 10% off. Thank you everybody. Have a nice day.